The starters are finished, so roll on the main course. Round 2 of the 2025 Guinness Six Nations feels destined to be a major step up from round 1's big team domination, with 3 intriguing fixtures on the horizon. Getting underway with Italy hosting Wales in what feels likely to be the wooden spoon decider, Warren Gatland's side are looking to end their torrid run of 13 consecutive defeats in Rome. Unfortunately for the Welsh, this is not an Italian side of the past. Instead, they are a squad packed with game-breaking talent, starting with their physical pack and ending with their rapid and dynamic backline. Following their 43-0 drubbing against France in round 1, it is difficult to see where Wales goes to from here, with a win over Italy doing little but stopping the losing streak ahead of what feels destined to be 3 further losses in the championship against Ireland, Scotland and England. For Italy, a bounce back from their 31-19 loss at the hands of Scotland would set them up well before their round 3 clash with France, who, although they secured a draw against last year, are on another level entirely in 2025, with Antoine Dupont back in the lineup. Our second fixture sees Dupont and his French teammates travel to London to face England at the Allianz Stadium in Twickenham. For France, they rarely looked like needing to get out of second gear in round 1, which was reflected by their mass substitutions early in the second half, including taking off Dupont, which they rarely do. For England, although a 27-22 scoreline suggests a close loss at the hands of Ireland in round 1, the reality is far different. England scored 2 tries in the final 4 minutes when Ireland had fully switched off. Prior to that, Ireland took them to the cleaners physically, which was ramped up further pressure on Steve Borthwick and his coaching staff, with one of Borthwick's former colleagues, Jordan Murphy, taking aim at the England head coach. For more on that interview, check out our article on FloRugby.com, which is now live. Finally, the clash of the weekend sees Ireland travel to Murrayfield to face Scotland in what feels like a significant occasion for Gregor Townsend's men. Having lost their past 10 clashes on the bounce to Ireland, Scotland will feel as though it is now or never for them. Ireland, on the other hand, will be looking to build on their return to form against England as they chase a record-breaking 3rd consecutive Six Nations titles. With the stage now set, here are 5 key storylines to track in round 2 of the Guinness Six Nations. Firstly, will England's dual playmaker option work? Taking a bold step, Borthwick has opted to shift regular fly half Marcus Smith to fullback to accommodate his namesake Finn Smith at fly half. Both players have their strengths, with Harlequins man Marcus an individual game-breaking threat with ball in hand. Finn, on the other hand, whilst no slouch, is more of a controlling 10 who brings those around him into play for a style that feels more likely to fit what Borthwick wants from his playmaker. Taking a positive slant on this, England are willing to be bold in a bid to take their game forward and have clearly recognised that to date their inability to fully build a game plan around Marcus's strengths has cost them dearly. On a negative and perhaps more realistic view, this feels like somewhat of a Hail Mary by Borthwick, and given Marcus's stature, although he is a brave defender, as Ireland proved, he struggles to handle big physical outside backs in one-on-one situations, which who can blame him given he's not the biggest player. Number 2, can Scotland put together a physical 80-minute performance? Key to Scotland's struggles against Ireland over the past decade has been their inability to stay in the fight for the full 80 minutes with Ireland physically. Whilst they have all of the magic in the world with the likes of Finn Russell, Darcy Graham and Duhan Vandermerwe, the Scots have been unable to stump the ultra-physical Irish pack and their centres in particular. In addition to this, Ireland, unlike any other side, have been able to contain the Scottish Stars, which has more often than not led to the likes of Russell in particular having a major mistake or 2 in the match. Point number 3, has the old school coaching message expired? This is a point for both England and Wales, who, based on noises coming out of their respective camps, have seen their head coaches teetering on losing their changing rooms. There is no hiding the fact that both Warren Gatland and Steve Borthwick are not on the same level of personal coaches as, say, Andy Farrell or Rassie Erasmus, where it is clear their players will go to the well for them when the going gets tough. This has never been more evident than with an abundance of former Welsh players publicly criticising Gatland in the press, with the same being said of Borthwick by former teammates and players. Should both sides suffer defeats in round 2, which will all but end their chances of a title run, could both coaches be on their way out post-championship? Let us know in the comments below. Point number 4, New Look Ireland. Have the men in green committed to a new style? Lauded for their multi-phase play which led to downright beautiful rugby over the past 3 to 4 years, Ireland appear to have begun a mindset shift as much as anything. Looking towards a more clinical and energy-saving approach, what was markedly clear against England was Ireland's willingness to kick away possession after the first 5 or 6 phases if they were not making progress with ball in hand. Of course, inside the opposition's 22 they remain ruthless, but this mindset shift, coupled with their brutal new Springbok-style defence, appears to be a game plan tailor-made for knockout rugby. Clearly stating the obvious here, but with such an abundance of Leinster players in the setup currently, the Jacques Nienaber approach to rugby appears to be seeping its way into the Irish ranks. This conservation of energy also looks like it's paying dividends in terms of strike plays, with Ireland cutting England open with clever, explosive set plays. This ability to force the opposition to run themselves into the ground without ever hitting Ireland's red zone is fascinating and will be firmly put to the test by an exuberant Scottish attack on the weekend. Our final point, are France all the way back? As touched on above, France looked mightily impressive in round 1, with Antoine Dupont playing at a stratospheric level since his return from sevens. The only quibble with their round 1 showing is that it came against arguably the worst Welsh team of the past 25 years. Whilst England are far from a perfect team, France will not have things all their own way physically in round 2 and will certainly be tested by their cross-channel rivals. Ultimately, Les Bleus are still heavy favourites, but for neutral observers, namely Ireland and Scotland, they will be looking to see if Steve Borthwick's side can find some chinks in what to date looks to be an impenetrable French armour. Thanks for checking out our video today. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and subscribe for more rugby content. Also, please let us know in the comments how you see our questions being answered this weekend and which questions of your own you have for round 2.